You probably know that on July 13th, 2024, someone attempted to kill former President Donald J. Trump at a campaign rally in Butler Township, Pennsylvania. The official story says that Thomas Matthew Crooks, a lone gunman, fired 8 shots from the roof of a building near Trump's stage on the property of a company named AGR International before he was shot and killed by a Secret Service counter-sniper. Trump escaped with only minor injuries, but 3 spectators were not so lucky. David Dutch and James Copenhaver were seriously wounded, and Corey Comparator, a father of 2 and a former firefighter, was killed. Rico Elmore was there in the crowd that day, and he tried to help.
As soon as that second shot rang out and I made a realization that somebody was shooting at the president, my biggest fear was, what about everybody else there? As I get to the bleachers where Corey is laying down, I see nothing but a sea of blood. At that point, there are people around that are just terrified. You can see it in their face, in their eyes. I shifted my body to a 45-degree angle to shield the crowd from seeing the horrific scenes. As I shield the crowd, I look at the doctor, and the doctor looks back at me, and we have to keep going. There was no words exchanged between me and the doctor, but something in our mind said, we have to try.
Let's give the feds the benefit of the doubt and see if we can gather enough evidence to prove Crooks shot Trump. Let's start with the body on the AGR roof. The FBI says it's Thomas Matthew Crooks. But is that true? According to the report, the rifle on the roof was traced by the ATF to Thomas Crooks' father using its serial number. And on page 115, they say, quote, "This led to the identification of Thomas Matthew Crooks as a suspect at approximately 9:20 p.m. But how was that possible? The police didn't even question Crooks' father until over 2 hours later at 11:40 p.m. For all the feds knew, it could be Thomas Crooks' father's body on the roof of AGR at 9:20 p.m. The FBI has never said they took fingerprints from the body, but even if they did, Thomas Crooks would had to have been fingerprinted some other time in his life before July 13th for his fingerprints to be on file. Okay, I hear all you people who watch CSI yelling that the FBI probably did a DNA test, and that's how they knew the body was Thomas Crooks. No. DNA tests take days, and you have to have a reference sample for comparison. That means they would need a known sample of Thomas Crooks' DNA or a blood relative, and the FBI didn't have either of those things at 9:20 p.m. on the 13th. But it gets worse. On July 14th, an FBI agent washed the blood off the roof of AGR, destroying any DNA that could prove or disprove the identity of the body. And Crooks' body, with the permission of the FBI, was released a few days later and quickly cremated. So the possibility of ever confirming the identity of that body is gone forever.